front and centre this morning is are these claims and counterclaims over the New Zealanders popping up now in not just Victoria, Western Australia and Tasmania. None of those states signed up to the so-called Trans-Tasman bubble. So why should New Zealanders why should they accept New Zealanders from arriving in Sydney Airport?
Well, bottom line is, Michael, they are healthy New Zealanders, so they're coming from areas where there've been no community transmissions.
Mr. McCormack. They haven't signed up to the travel bubble. They might be healthy or unhealthy. It's not just Victoria, WA and Tasmania haven't signed up to the bubble. Why are they getting these New Zealanders coming down?
And they're putting as I understand, the New Zealanders into quarantine, so they're making, and they, at the end of the day, have the jurisdictional responsibilities for their own state borders. But they are also available to see the manifests of airlines. They are, and they have been, and since October 16, those manifests, those passenger logs have been made available to governments, to health ministers, to health and officers, protocol officers in the various states, and it's been discussed at National Cabinet ad nauseum.
Well, Daniel Andrews, for one, has insisted, he has told the Prime Minister personally that Victoria does not want to be part of the travel bubble.
Well, and look at the Melbourne situation at the moment. I mean, I'm going to always take the best health advice from the Chief Medical Officer in this country. So Professor Paul Kelly, Professor Brendan Murphy, they've stated quite clearly that it's a 14-day rolling average of fewer than 10 cases. Victoria is following almost an eradication policy. So, you know, let's be a little bit sensible here, and let's look at just the job figures in September. 170,000 jobs created in states and territories other than Victoria. 70,000 job losses in Victoria. Melburnians are so frustrated. They want to resume their life. They've seen the case rates now very low. Mortality rates, of course, it's very, very sad, but with those numbers of deaths, more than 800 in Victoria, of the round about 900 across the country. But the case and mortality rates in recent days have been to a level which, according to the National Chief Medical Officer, should be sufficient to start opening up, to start easing some of those restrictions.
That's exactly what we're seeing today, with that travel limit scrapped and people can go to hairdressers and the like. And as early as next week, if these numbers stay low, businesses will reopen. So Victoria's done a pretty good job on that front.
But every week we're losing hundreds and hundreds of jobs, and many businesses are looking at the prospect of not reopening. Every week that goes by, every week is another delay.
We are concerned about the businesses, but as the health officials in Victoria say, open too early, the businesses will be shut down by a third wave, and not just the ones we're talking about.
Well, it's and Victoria needs to also understand that Victorians need to get back to work. They need to get back to some sort of normality in their lives. And if you look at the 14-day rolling average, that fewer than 10 cases, that's been set by the Chief Medical Officer in the land, then you know, they've met that. They've more than met that.
And Victoria's doing better than New South Wales on that front, but the Victorian government, as is the New South Wales...
I don't think Victoria doing better than New South Wales overall. That's nowhere near accurate. I'm sorry, Michael. That is nowhere near accurate. New South Wales has actually been the gold standard bearer when it comes to...
But on the latest numbers in the last week or two, that is the case. Well,
we are in the middle of a global pandemic as well. And so, you know, there are going to be cases. There are going to be, unfortunately, people who come down with COVID-19. But the Trans-Tasman bubble is the first in what we need to do to reopen our nation. And, of course, we're repatriating Australians as well. We need to get Australians back. We need to have Australians travelling as well and going overseas. And so the Trans-Tasman bubble is the first step along that path.
OK, just before we go, another issue. The AFP announced last week that it's launching an investigation into possible criminal activity involving the sale by the federal government, or the purchase by the federal government, of that land where the Western Sydney Airport will be for $30 million, 10 times for what it's worth. Do you still believe that will be seen as a bargain by people?
What I stated quite clearly was the fact that when we are putting new runways in, when we're putting new infrastructure in, and that may well be 2050, the price then will be way over the odds of what has been paid now if that land was still in private hands in decades' time. Yes, it was well over the odds now, and that is why the Secretary and the Auditor-General have both referred this matter to the Australian Federal Police. So it has been the Secretary of the Department as well as the Auditor-General who've referred that. Of course, there's an independent investigation going on now into the sale, and of course we've got Senate estimates which will thoroughly look at the matter as well. So there's a number of reviews and inquiries. Yes, way too much was paid for that land, no question whatsoever. But I suppose at least it is now in Commonwealth hands, and when there is future expansion of Western Sydney Airport, which is creating thousands of jobs, tens of thousands of jobs, and that is a good thing. As Western Sydney's first airport, not necessarily Sydney's second airport. This is going to regenerate Western Sydney and revitalise that area like nothing else could. And so the project is good. It's going on, and there are so many. It's actually helping boost the New South Wales economy in this time of crisis. But let's let those reviews take place and see what comes of it.
the AFP come up with.
Yep.
Michael McCormack, thank you.
Thanks, Michael. All the best.